10 days to the start of the college football season for the Longhorns, appropriate number. You know, we've had 12 days with Colt McCoy on Monday. We had 11 days yesterday, and we talked about Major Applewhite, and you were talking about Sam Ehlinger, great number 11s, and obviously the greatest number 10 is Vince Young. And there was the debut yesterday on Netflix of the documentary about Vince Young, The Untold, it's called, part of that Untold series. Wasn't the Johnny Manziel doc under that same umbrella, The
series.
Untold?
Mm-hmm.
This one's much better than the Johnny Manziel one, by the way, as far as...
Well, it's a more interesting story, I think.
Yeah, and more complex. And the 78-minute documentary released yesterday, it does follow Young's journey from Houston and his roots there to his, and just the megastar that he was at Madison High School, to his early struggles here in Austin to learn the Longhorn offense. And it revealed something we had known and had talked about, that Vince nearly transferred from Texas. Actually drove to Houston, got his car, left practice. And talked to his, at the time, mentor and godfather, Vince Young, or Steve McNair. That also, I knew so much of the information within the documentary, Jack, because I lived it and covered it and talked about it every single morning throughout his career. But because it was always, because we used to have the debates, was Steve McNair his godfather? Turns out what we learned from the documentary is that in Houston he went to a football camp because Steve McNair was the Houston Oilers quarterback before he was the Tennessee Titans quarterback, because Houston drafted him out of Alcorn State. And while they were still in Houston, and with that hated owner, Bud Adams, who became a big part of Vince's future, he went to a football camp as a youth and made friends with Steve McNair. And so not actually a godfather, but became a father figure and a mentor, which that was clarified by the documentary last night. And we're going to dive into it more, but obviously he almost transferred out of Texas when things were going rough early. Chance Mock was a quarterback at Texas at the time. Another highly recruited 4 or 5-star kid out of the Woodlands area. Chance, a good friend. And so I think it does a nice job of that, but he said he got all the way to Houston and he talked to Steve McNair on the phone, and Steve said, hey, because Steve was now in Tennessee at the time, quarterbacking the Titans, and had taken the Titans to a Super Bowl by that point and became a huge star. He said, look, go back. You'll get it. Keep your head up. And that's when he came back, built his relationships, a stronger relationship with Mack Brown, two had a sit down. And I thought Mack did great in it, and the documentary came off really good.
100%.
We'll get into the Jeff Fisher side of it coming up on our A block, because if you didn't like Jeff Fisher or had concerns about Jeff Fisher, they were confirmed and probably put on steroids with this documentary. But I'll give Jeff Fisher this. He sat down. He answered the questions. And whether you liked him or not, he was there answering them. He didn't have to do that, and it really added to the layers of the documentary. And Vince owning his own part. And we'll get to the part where Vince actually wrote an apology letter to Jeff Fisher that was never returned and went unanswered. That seems petty, but we'll explain that coming up.
Be an adult. But
you saw it. I saw it. I know a lot of you saw it. And we are going to talk to the executive producer of that documentary in a couple hours, 9:30 this morning. We'd go earlier, but he's on the West Coast. He's out in Los Angeles. But Ross Dinnerstein will join us coming up of how this thing got made. But it's great. It really is. It's really gets your juices flowing for college football, because the best part of it for you, I'm sure, Jack, was because how old were you when the Longhorns won the national championship in the Rose Bowl?
5.
All right, so it really helped you go back. I know you've probably seen the documentary, probably watched the game before.
I've seen the game about 100 times.
But the subplots were all built, and how great USC was, and how Texas used the fuel for the Michigan win in the Rose Bowl the year before, and Vince saying, meet me on the practice field if we want to go beat USC. And it was great. It was really great. And so exhilarating even to go back and relive it again, and having been out in Los Angeles for that week and at that game, and it was great. It was great. But then, it goes to the draft. And here's another piece of information I didn't know that we'll dive into deeper. I did not know that after he had the superhuman performance in the Rose Bowl, or the second superhuman performance, because he did it the year before against Michigan when they won the game 38-37. I mean, he was almost equally good against Lloyd Carr's team. I didn't know that Mack told him to go to the pros. It's pretty revealing that they sat down and, Mack said, you're going to make $20 million as a top 5 draft pick rookie. And I know where you're from. I know your family. And you can't, what if you get hurt? You can't pass that money up. But I was on the radio at the time saying, Mack, you need to beg this guy to come back and rejoin you. But he did the right thing by Vince, which is where we'll get to the Jeff Fisher. The next coach he had didn't have his back. I think Mack Brown, to his core, had Vince Young's back. I mean, had his best interest at mind, not his. Like he could have said, "No, we need you back because we can go win another national title. You can win a Heisman, which you should have won this year." No, he said, "No, you should go. You should go." And good for now. I don't know if they never asked Mack if he regrets that now as the way it played out. Probably not, because his family, But Vince Young went bankrupt in the NFL. Went bankrupt, lost all his money, all the things. But I don't know. That's new. I didn't know Mack encouraged him to go.
Yeah, and that's what the great coaches do a lot of the time, right? You hear all these stories about these one-and-done kids in basketball where the coaches are like, no. Coach K is like, no.
You should go.
You should go.
Because that's the thing. That's the thing we don't know. People know. Mack Brown in it. Vince was raised by his grandmother and his mother.
Right.
No father was incarcerated throughout the course of his life. Never really had a relationship with him, and we all knew that. I think most knew that. But they talked about how when they went to recruit Vince Young, Mack Brown was sitting on the floor of their house because they took such a big contingent. They took the whole offensive staff, and Mack was sitting on the floor, and his mom remembers there's the football coach sitting on the floor of our house. So again, Mack and the coaching staff had seen where Vince came from. They're in South Houston, not far from the Astrodome and NRG Stadium right there at Madison High School. And so he saw it, and he's like, no, you should go. You should go. Strike while the iron is hot. And he did. And, it really is a well-done documentary. It's on Netflix. It's 78 minutes. Doesn't take long. Watch it in an afternoon. Watch it in an evening. And it really does get you going for college football. But good layers on the VY thing. It's not like it paints Vince as, this perfect person. I mean, he had his own issues, no doubt about it. But I thought it was well done. We'll talk to Ross Dinnerstein later on in the show. All right, as for the current, so yesterday we had Steve Sarkisian availability. We play audio from Saturdays and then Mondays. Yesterday, player availability. And it's for the first time in camp we got to hear from Arch Manning, number 16. We also got to hear from Justin Crier, a new linebacker who's come in from Florida State, who's going to start next to Raheem Biles. We also got to hear from Bo Masco, the corner from Rutgers. So, again, get behind the scenes with these guys. They've had a month in camp. You know what the topic became early and often with these guys, Jack, was trash talk. I play you something. This is so Justin. I got to tell you, Justin Crier, the linebacker. His brother LJ Crier, Jack, played at Baylor, played at Houston, playing the NBA now.
Golden State.
That's his brother. And Justin Crier is such a likable guy. But listen, so here it is. He plays middle linebacker. Arch plays quarterback. So trash talk became a conversation. And listen to LJ Crier talking about, who's really annoying with his trash talk? Yeah, it's that guy Arch. And then Arch was asked about it. And so here's the back and forth, a little bit edited down in a nice way. This is Justin Crier and then Arch Manning back and forth.
We know about Colin, but who are some other guys on either side of the ball who really stuck out to you as trash talkers?
Y'all don't hear Arch on the field, bro. Arch is kind of annoying. He's they'll make a play or something. He'll run behind you. He'll say something that only you'll hear, and obviously you can't really do anything about it. You're like, bro, I don't like how you did that.
That makes sense. I usually go. He's always the one right in front of me, so he's who I go after a lot.
Is it easier to be a great trash talker when you know those guys can't touch you?
Yeah, that helps a lot. Not being able to. They don't get to hit me during practice, so I can kind of say whatever I want. But did something trash talk happen?
Everybody talks about your trash talk.
Really not that much of a trash talker. I don't know. I'm really just a nice guy out there. I don't say anything.
We know about.
All right, so there you go. Justin Crier, Juice, they call him. And can I play some, Jack? Did Juice Crier, LJ Crier? Where is he in the NBA? Where is he in his professional journey?
Golden State.
LJ, he's at Golden State now.
Mm-hmm.
Good for him.
He was undrafted last year. Now he's in Golden State.
Now they're both from the Katy area. Katy Morton High School or Morton Ranch High School, I think, is where they're from.
That's where LJ Crier's from, at least.
But man, this guy Crier, and he revealed yesterday. I think he's part of the reason why Anthony Smith didn't have a good camp and has now been dismissed from the team. Only that Will Muschamp personally recruited Juice Crier. Knew who he was, brought him in, and he's been here since the summer. And Anthony Smith, wasn't a Will Muschamp guy as far as that goes coming in, and was hurt during the camp. And those two have not meshed, and I don't know what's going on with that. But Justin Crier certainly has. And here he is. Here's Juice Crier talking about this is what you'll like about him. He's a funny kid, and talking about his basketball playing brother. What can you learn from a guy who's in the NBA who's a professional already? What do you take, habits that you take from him playing with the Golden State Warriors? I thought this was pretty funny stuff yesterday from campus.
National championship, and does he tell you have to go get yours now?
Yeah, y'all don't know this. I'm actually better at basketball than him. I think that's just me personally, but he's been.
Does he know that?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
He knows that. Yeah, he's been my role model ever since I was a little kid. His work ethic, his drive, his determination. I got to have a first. I got to have like a front row seat to that. Coming up as a recruit, coming up to games at the University of Texas. Like all this stuff, the process that he went through, it was something that kind of laid down the blueprint for me when it was my turn. And he's someone I go to all the time just for advice and just for when everything's just kind of going on. I go to him first because he's someone who I know has been through it. And he's up on me in the national championship category, so I got to get one up on him.
Yeah, he won a national championship at Baylor, if you remember, as part of that dynamic backcourt. And LJ Crier, Juice Crier, he's better. I'm better than him at basketball. I hope you know that. He knows that. That's such brother stuff. Did you know this, though, about Justin Crier, Jack? He also, almost out of high school, went to play baseball at Northwestern.
Wow.
Just how academically smart he is.
Smart kid.
He wanted to go play baseball, but and then when he went to Florida State originally, he wanted to try to play baseball there, and they said, no, he's got to play football. So he played football there, and he's a veteran player. And Steve Sarkisian has spoke glowingly about how he's come in and has attacked this, like he talked about with the work ethic of his brother, learning the playbook, studying, taking notes, asking questions. He wants to be a leader of this defense and play next to Raheem Biles. And he and Raheem Biles have become fast friends, one coming in from Pitt, one from Florida State. And they have worked together to learn this new defense they're running with Will Muschamp. Those are guys, cross your fingers to stay healthy because that's going to be the centerpiece of your defense. And Justin Crier admitted yesterday, look, I'm good. I want to just be the steady guy in the middle and let Raheem Biles run and make plays and wreak havoc and do the things he does best. I'll be the anchor in the middle. And you can almost get, if you listen to either Raheem Biles earlier this week or whenever his availability was, and you listen to Justin Crier, you almost could see the vision that Will Muschamp had when he recruited both guys, right? Then Bo Masco as well. Clearly, Will Muschamp, attacked the portal with not just good players, but guys who will fit what he wants to do. And so far, so good. Juice Crier, Raheem Biles, Bo Masco, Ian Jaffrard, the Arkansas massive interior tackle to hold up the end. So we'll hear more from Juice coming up. Also from Arch Manning. Can I give you this, Jack? And we'll tease it for next Horns at Half Past at the bottom of next hour. Arch Manning over here's what I did yesterday because I had an eye procedure, so I had a lot of downtime. Arch Manning over 14 minutes sitting there in front of the assembled UT media. How many questions do you think they fired at him in 14 minutes?
Oh, gosh.
61.
I was going to say 30.
61 questions.
A lot of one-word answers for young Archibald.
I'm trying to figure out Arch because Arch is so likable, but he has this speaking pattern. You know what the average time of answer was of these 61 questions? His total response time, I added up, was 4 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yeah.
About 7 seconds average. The longest answer was 20 seconds. And his longest answers are typically when you ask him about someone not him or football. It's like you ask about his cousin Marshall, who's Peyton's son. You ask about, a player on his team. That's when he starts to it's not like he's short. He's not like he answers the question and then he stops. It's really, I'll play you some of it next hour. It's maybe only fascinating to me, but he's never rude about it.
You get one sentence.
Yeah, he's just, some would say coached, but I just think it's his speaking pattern. He looks like whoever the question is in the eye, he smiles big, he answers the question, and then he stops. And the average answer of 61 questions was 7 seconds.
You have to think that's some Manning coaching. Don't say too much. Answer the question, get out.
Well, all his uncles do is talk.
Now.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. All right, we'll play some of that next hour.
Imagine Arch in 20 years on the Manning cast. He's going to be giving speeches.
Yeah. I mean, he answers, like Juice Crier, his answers are like, some of them are a minute and a half long because he's really eloquent and talks about it. Arch could be more eloquent. He just, I'm good. I gave you your answer.